Welcome back to another episode of Week in Review. We've got a busy one this week, with the $200 million letter from the chairman, 2018 anniversary freefly event, and more, so with that said, let's get started. At number 8, we have the 3.3.5 update. This week saw the release of 3.3.5 to the Evocati on Friday, closely followed by release to Concierge and subscribers further into the week. Chris confirmed in ATV that he's looking to release 3.3.5 to the live servers before the freefly event next week, so keep your eyes peeled for the final release. At number 7, we have the letter from the chairman. This week marks the passing of $200 million of crowdfunding, further establishing STAR-Citizen as the largest crowdfunded project of all time. Chris released a letter expressing thanks to the whole community, with this achievement coming just days before the anniversary of STAR-Citizen. This post is heartfelt and appreciative of the whole community, and you can check it out over on the RSI website. At number 6, we have the freefly event. This week also saw the announcement of the 2018 anniversary freefly event, and this year things are going to work slightly differently. From November 23rd to November 30th, anyone can try out STAR-Citizen with different ships being available each day. Anvil takes the first slot, followed by RSI, then Origin, Aegis, Drake, a number of alien manufacturers, Misk, and rounded out by a combo of Kruger, Argo, Tumbril, and Consolidated Outland. This is the biggest freefly event to ever take place, and CIG have hinted at possible surprises and interactive activities for those who visit Lorville during the event. CIG are hoping to have 3.3.5 pushed to live servers in time for the freefly. At number 5, we have the roadmap update. This week sees another roadmap update, with 3.3.5 being the focus of CIG's efforts. With this Friday's update, we see it move 3%, bringing us up to a total of 97%. This isn't surprising as CIG want to release it in the coming days in preparation for the anniversary event. 3.4 is a mixed bag this week, averaging 0% progress overall. Mining improvements gain 43%, the Castak Arms Ravager gains 25%, and the Lorville Business District gains 6%. No tasks lost any progress, but we see smooth locomotion improvements, Reliant Core improvements, the Bering Sawbuck Repeater improvements, and Videocom improvements all having work begun this week. 2 new tasks made their way into the release, with OCS code conversion improvements and background spawning improvements being pushed from 3.3.5 into this release. Overall work is moving along well, and CIG are kicking off progress on many tasks for the next release. Only 6 tasks are yet to begin, and we should hopefully see these moving in the coming weeks. At number 4, we have lore content. This week's lore content is yet another installment of the Galactic Guide series, this week focused on the Al-Kar system. As a closely guarded Xi'an military system, we're still very new to this system overall. With humans first being invited to the system a little over 30 years ago, the relationship between humanity and the Xi'an continues to improve. The hope is that relations will continue to improve to the point that humans are able to travel more freely throughout the system without the current requirement for clearance. If you want to know more about the system or its 5 planets, subscribers can check out the lore post over on the RSI website. This week also brings a second lore post giving a portfolio piece on the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo. With humble beginnings of UEE Navy member Audrey Timmerman and her passion for reverse engineering Xi'an tech, their first unofficial expo involved a bunch of ship modders meeting on a desolate moon to discuss their mods. This became an annual event with people travelling to attend the expo. Roughly 13 years later, RSI are now one of the headline sponsors of the show, with many major ship manufacturers announcing new ships and tech at the event. You can learn more about it and its vast history over on the RSI website. At number 3, we have Around the Verse. This week's ATV takes a look at what's changed over the week and how 3.3.5 is progressing. 3.3.5 is now in PTU for Concierge and subscribers, and CIG are looking to get it out in time for the freefly. The performance statistics are now also live on the RSI website, so you can measure up how your rig is performing against similarly spec'd machines. Along with this week's update, the multi-tool has been finalised, with the tool having its battery moved and is now being readied for the verse. The CitizenCon knife also sees final polish being added, with the wear and tear being added along with the final tweaks and textures. ArcCorp also sees a lot of work, with CIG fleshing out how these industrial cities will look. Cities on ArcCorp are huge, and CIG are trying to make it look realistic but also convincing. You can see the whole planet from space, and this is quite intensive in terms of graphics, so CIG are working to make it look good while performing as well as it can. And that's all for ATV. Interesting things once again, and ArcCorp is shaping up to be quite an impressive site. At number 2, we have Reverse the Verse. This week's RTV looks at making the universe feel more alive, and we're joined by 3 members of the art team. We'll be looking at VFX, weather systems, cloud tech, and more. Planetary Weather has tons of planned features, building out cool effects to expand the verse. Ideas include acid rain, lightning rain, and more. The gas cloud tech isn't currently capable of swirling, such as if you flew through it, but this is because the clouds are currently far too large to be affected by this anyway. This may change in the future, but there's currently no plans. That said, there are contrails for gas clouds, so you'll see the effects if you fly through them. With the new flight model, CIG are aiming to provide as much realism as possible, doing research on how different atmospheres affect flight. VFX will be used for certain items such as flies and insects. CIG aren't quite sure how this will be implemented yet, and there are some technical improvements with GPU tech that makes this more feasible, but we'll see what the future holds. The plan is to improve the dynamic shading system in the future to allow for better rendering. This is fairly low priority though, as it has a few things depending on it before it moves to the top of the list. Fire tech continues to improve, with the VFX team working on different types and effects that are being used across different materials, used by various alien races. With these being different materials and technologies, CIG developing a range of different looking fire colours, effects, particles, and more. The VFX team haven't currently done any work on the oceans on Lorville, but they're expecting to add some as the tech improves, and we see more water appear around the verse. The team are currently working out how Crusader will look with its entirely gas-based atmosphere. Plans are still in the early phase, but with floating cities and layered clouds, we should hear more in the near future. Lightning does cast shadows on clouds, though it wasn't working at the CitizenCon demo. What happens when you try and land on a star is currently being built out. All stars are different, and what happens when you attempt to get too close to them is currently being decided. Mirrors are on the roadmap as they're needed for Squadron 42. They're complex to develop as they require huge amounts of extra rendering, so they might not be incredibly common around the verse. And that's all for RTV this week. Some interesting things coming, and I'm sure many are as excited as I am for Crusader and the other cloud tech. And finally, at number 1, we have the community overview. The community remains excited this week, gaining access to the 335 PTU at long last. Many screenshots and images are appearing, with citizens being particularly fond of the terrain. It's good to see the community happy, and let's hope this trend continues throughout the anniversary week. That's all from me for this week. Like if you liked it, get subscribed, and leave me a comment down below. I'll see you in next week's episode of Week in Review.